Hey guys, what's going on? This is Andrew here today, and we're going to be continuing the series that I like to call My Take on Gaming. In this video, we're going to be discussing the topic of Xbox Game Pass and why I am really happy with it. Before we start off the video, I'm just going to point something out. Do you guys notice that my voice quality is a bit better? Well, that's because I just got my new Yeti X for my birthday and I'm loving it so far. I didn't get rid of the Snowball though, and that mic is currently in my retro console setup where I have my laptop. Anyway guys, let's get into the topic, and I hope you enjoyed my new voice quality on my Yeti X. Many of you who watch my channel know that I'm a game collector at this point. Just based off of everything that I collect, it is also obvious that I buy all sorts of games, as in I don't just stick to one platform or genre. Although I usually buy physical games to have in my collection, ever since the Xbox One and PS4 days, there have been times where I eventually gave in and went for the digital version of a game due to there either being a better deal or it simply being free with my subscription of Gold or PlayStation Plus. The only catch is that back then, most of those games that I received with those console memberships would be older games, something like an old Assassin's Creed game or something that simply just came out on the console plenty of years ago before that time. Even at the start of Game Pass, we were getting games that were a bit older, which made the subscription feel like it didn't have to be a necessity, especially when you can get some of those games used physically at a great price instead of paying for a subscription. However, as time went on, things drastically changed. Over the course of my gaming hiatus that I had from the end of 2017 to the end of 2019, I started hearing things about Game Pass, but I never felt like I needed it because 1, I wasn't really playing games anymore, 2, I didn't even care enough to pay for a Gold or PS Plus membership, and 3, there wasn't really anything that was blowing my mind that was coming to the service just yet. 2020 comes along and my collecting hobby started back up again, but this time it was at an absolute high. I was like buying a game like every week for quite a long time. I spent way too much money last year. Up until August 2020, I was convinced that I was going to be going for the PS5, but then I made a decision that moved me the other way really fast, and that was signing up for my trial of Game Pass Ultimate. As soon as I was scrolling through the catalog of games, I was absolutely blown away. Not only were there so many games on there that I wanted to give a shot, but Ultimate allowed me to save on buying a gold membership each year, as well as allowing me to have that insane catalog games on my PC as well, with the saves being transferred. About a month later, I got Gears 5 for my Xbox One, and then I just realized that I could also download it to my PC for the better visuals and frame rate. So basically, I would play the game on my PC for that higher visuals, and when I got tired at night, instead of just sitting at my computer on my chair, I would lay down in my bed and play it on my Xbox One. So later that night of having the game, I sat back down in my bed after grinding it at my PC. I played the game on my Xbox One and I beat the game. The concept of being able to just jump between those platforms and pick up where I left off felt so cool to me, and on top of that, I realized what console I really wanted to get first, and that was the Xbox Series X. I knew that although the PS5 had the exclusive lineup games for launch and the Xbox Series X didn't have any exclusive games for launch, the Series X really just did have more to offer because that big catalog of games on Game Pass meant that I can play so many games on my Series X on day one, regardless of if they were meant to be on the Series X or they were something like an Xbox One X enhanced game that just simply ran so much better on the console. On top of that, a huge variety of Bethesda's games had just become part of the service due to Microsoft purchasing them. Let's fast forward to now and talk about where I stand with Game Pass. I have been using the service to the point where I believe it's an absolute necessity to have for myself at the moment. When I first got it, it was just for games that I hadn't tried out yet, but as time went on, I started seeing bigger games that I used to pay full price for on launch day that would come to it. The first game that I played on my Series X was Doom Eternal. I also played GTA 4 and beat it within a day, but that's not really related to this topic. When it came to Doom Eternal, that was a game that I bought on launch day for PC, meaning I paid the whole full $60 for the game to play it and literally just went and played it on my Series X a few months later, not even having to pay for it. Then there was Outriders, a game that I was getting ready literally to pre-order because I was really looking forward to the game. Then MLB The Show, a series that I one time bought for my friend on launch day in exchange for his old Elgato. Basically what we did is, he said, hey, I'll give you my Elgato if you buy MLB The Show, which used to be a PlayStation exclusive also a reason he got the PS4. That was one of the reasons he got it, because he really liked the MLB games on the 360 back in the day and really wanted a PS4 to play the show. So yeah, he basically gave me his Elgato because I paid full price for the MLB game. Now, I just watched an entire E3 conference, I should say, of games that about 70% of them were ones that I am definitely going to be buying. One of them being my most anticipated third-party game that at one point was on my wish list that I was going to be getting on my birthday, Back 4 Blood. Keep in mind, I was literally about to pay full price for this game, or have a family member of mine pay full price for this game to give to me on my birthday, and now it's literally coming to Game Pass on day one, making me not have to pay the full price for it. On top of that, I just paid full price for something like Yakuza Like a Dragon. I got that on Christmas, and now it's a part of the subscription that I have been paying for since before I even got the game, only a few months later, which is fucking insane. So looking at all of that, I have been sitting back and thinking, what the hell is the point of buying games day one on Xbox if a majority of the good games will be on Game Pass on day one, or will be coming sooner or later? Don't get me wrong, I will always collect physical games, but I feel like at this point, I should just wait a few years to get them unless they're an absolute must-buy day one game, because chances are they will be on Game Pass sometime later, and I will have ended up wasting my money on something I could have just played for free. I mean, I have played Yakuza here and there, and I really didn't pay that much attention to it, but now that it's free, it makes me realize I could have just waited for that price drop. I feel like the best thing for me to do is focus on older consoles in terms of collecting, even including games from last generation. When it comes to Game Pass, they just seem to have a great variety of everything that I love, and I feel like even if you are a collector, it's an absolute necessity if you own an Xbox One and beyond. It honestly is the perfect place to try games and see if you like them before deciding to permanently add them to your shelf, and I feel like this is the way I'm going to go about getting games for my Xbox Series X. I'm going to try them on Game Pass, and when enough time goes by to where those games come out to be like $10 or $20, which some of those games that I have gotten on day one have gotten that cheap, that will be when I buy them outright. Anyway guys, that's my take on Xbox Game Pass as a game collector. I am sure a lot of you will agree with me on this video because it seems like there are a ton of people realizing the perks of this amazing service. I wonder if we will ever see this from Sony or Nintendo, and if we do, I'll be the first one to sign up. Thank you guys for watching this video. I will see you all in the next one.